ojja kutuwakanya naffe tukowako okuwakana naawe.
Come with him. Go up down. Go inside the Go inside. Go up down. Go with him.
Allow us like 5 minutes.
Morning, Your Majesty.
Please. Yeah.
Thank His Majesty the King of Toro for having accepted to enter into a partnership with National Housing, which is under Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. We are looking at sustainable urbanization and housing, and they are entering into an MOU to build housing, but also to have better plans for Toro as a kingdom. As government, we commit ourselves to work together to uplift the standards of the people of Toro through housing and urbanization. But I have also requested them to help government mobilize their communities to actively participate and engage into the parish development model, which is very key in as far as improving the welfare and livelihoods of our people is concerned. And they have accepted to work with us. They are helping us in achieving our NDP program of sustainable urbanization and housing through infrastructure development of housing and working with the National Housing, which is under our ministry.
Moved on to the level of cities, and having His Majesty King Oyo Kabamba could look at the force from Toro, our tourism city, to partner with National Housing so that we can have organized settlement. It's a very, very big achievement. As a minister who is in charge of this subsector, I'm so happy, and I'm very sure that we are going to achieve a lot more than we are seeing right now. And Toro, I probably feel like it's going to be one of the most organized cities in terms of organized settlement. So it's a very big achievement, and I want to thank the King so much for having partnered with us, and also his courtesy of moving around to see the kind of companies partnering with, what do they have in existence so far. I think it's so kind of him. As a younger person, I see him with the passion of developing his area, developing Uganda, and this is appreciated. Government, when we have organized these settlements where people are living in decent houses, their economic standards, even health-wise, they improve. So we even get more revenues from such, whether through power, utilities, mainly water, power, and any other kind of revenue which government may want to achieve. It's very easy to correct it from this kind of settlements, other than when people are living in ramshackle structures, their health is poor, they can't even achieve much, they can't work and bring revenues, taxes to the government. So housing is a very critical area. It's so central that everybody, whether you are president, whether you are who, to come out and work, you must have a house where you are residing, and it dictates a lot on your performance as a person. Oh yes, we shall move on to other cities. Of course, urbanization and housing is one of the NDP3 programs that are incorporated in there. This kind of people building the way they want is going to stop. You remember we have just passed the Physical Planning Act, and which declared the whole country planning area. So when you have this kind of settlements, organized settlements, it's one of the physical planning features that show that really we are following. You see here, you are not scared of a narrow road where one vehicle coming from the other side cannot bypass the other. The water system, we are also talking of connecting gas, the gas supply chain, the pipeline for gas, so that we save the environment.
Minister, affordability is still a challenge because most of Ugandans cannot afford such houses.
Yes.
What's the government doing?
The government, that's why this time, because housing is one of the human rights, we are going to work closely, one with some private companies, but as government we want to put more money in the housing finance bank, less like we have done with the other bank, the UCD, so that people can borrow at long term to buy a house or even to build. So you see the Housing Finance Bank has not been doing well in terms of finances. And it's one of the areas that the government want to inject in that bank money, more resources. And also the bank, we want them to partner with the National Housing Company, which can sell or even facilitate someone to build a house at an affordable cost, a decent, depending on the income, depending on the capacity of that person, but at least at whatever level, we must have people living in organized and decent environment.
Of National Housing and Construction Company Limited, Chairman of the Board, National Housing and Construction Company, His Excellency the Ambassador of the New Order, who is a Special Envoy to the King's Office, the Country Director, BRAC, Honorable Minister of Land, Housing, Toro Kingdom, the Land Sector from Toro Kingdom, the team from National Housing, media, ladies and gentlemen. Today I would like to, I don't have much to say because a lot of the things that we have discussed about were actually discussed more in the field than here. So my words will be limited. But I would like to thank the CEO of National Housing, Mr. Kejuka, for not only coming to Toro Kingdom and seeing what we are doing, but also taking us through today of what National Housing is doing for Uganda. I would also like to thank the Honorable State Minister of Land, who happens to be a princess from Toro. When she said that she was tired, I thought, but I said, Honorable, you've managed the trek today, so you're with us here and you're alive. That is the most important thing. Well done. But I would like to thank her and her senior colleague, the Honorable Minister, who unfortunately was not with us to complete this exercise today, for welcoming me. And I'd like to thank the continued efforts of the Lands team, led by the Lands Minister for Toro Kingdom, who have been working tirelessly with the verification team from the government to verify our properties and assets in the Kingdom of Toro. And indeed, we have made some good progress, like what the Honorable State Minister said. I would also like to thank all our partners here, from BRAC to National Housing, especially National Housing, having signed the MOU with the Kingdom of Toro. This is another step in the right direction indeed. And you cannot have development without infrastructure, that's of course, that's a given. And National Housing provides that. So, Mr. Kejuka, I would like to thank you and your team for having taken us through what we have seen today. It has taken up the whole day, but we have learned so much. I myself have learned so much. And what we have seen, we may not implement all of it, but at least implement some. I've seen some of the work that National Housing has done here in Kampala, and I'm very, very pleased with it. That work to be replicated in the kingdom. Starting with Portfolio. As a tourism city, Portfolio and the entire kingdom has a lot of untapped potential when it comes to infrastructure, because number one, unlike Kampala, there's still a lot of room for development. But how we develop it is the key area, is the key thing. Unfortunately for Kampala, when development started taking place here in the city, there was, I believe, in most cases, in most parts of Kampala, it was not planned, it was not properly planned. And we are seeing now a delay in how government is now trying to plan. Though the efforts are, yes, we applaud the efforts, but I believe if the planning for Portfolio is to take place, there needs to be areas where now we subdivide. We say, okay, Bunyangabo will be like this, Chendojo will be like this, Kabarole will be like this. Each district will have its own different sort of planning. And that is where national housing comes in. So, I believe after signing this MOU, the sky is the limit for both national housing and the Toro Kingdom. And like what the Honorable Minister said, the government and the kingdom will continue to work hand in hand. Of course, we know that national housing is under the Ministry of Land. When we're working with you, we're working with Ministry of Land. So really, I'd like to continue to front this effort. It should continue. It should not stop here on this piece of paper that we have signed. For some of you who know me, I'm not much of a talker, I'm more of an implementer. So my words may be limited, but what you see on the ground, that's where my real results come from. So the unfortunate part here in Uganda is we like to talk too much. We like to talk too much, can talk the whole day, and moreover, we talk good points, but we're not able to implement anything. So please, our partners, and also the kingdom, because it's an institution, let's not just stop, let's not talk and it stops here. Let our words do the talking, let our actions do the talking for